5 subtle signs an elderly person is approaching decline. Don't wait to act. Have you ever glanced at an aging family member and wondered if you might be missing hidden clues that they need more support? That something deeper is happening beneath their gentle smiles or occasional aches and pains? Growing older is a natural journey for every individual, and it often arrives with visible transformations, such as changes in mobility or memory gaps that prompt concerned relatives to step in. However, there are times when these changes are subtler, almost invisible to the untrained eye, yet they can signal a more serious shift in an older person's overall well-being. Today, we will explore 5 nuanced indicators that could mean your aging loved one is approaching a phase of decline. These signs are not always obvious, and people often overlook them or confuse them with routine aging. Recognizing them early can make the difference between improving quality of life or leaving needs unmet for too long. That is why this conversation aims to shed light on the specific signals backed by professional insights and compassionate anecdotes drawn from years of experience in geriatric care. Before we proceed, it is important to remember that growing older is not a uniform path. Each person ages at a unique tempo, influenced by health history, emotional resilience, and daily habits. Nonetheless, certain patterns are widespread among seniors on the brink of needing additional care. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention notes that timely intervention can extend independence and even prevent hospitalizations. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has emphasized how emotional and social engagement are key to a more fulfilling late life. If you suspect that someone close to you is inching toward more serious concerns, stay with me until the end. We will discuss practical tips, share relatable stories, and address how small, thoughtful actions can safeguard precious moments for your beloved elder. Imagine 82-year-old Lydia, once the life of every family gathering, a vibrant spirit who hosted Sunday dinners and prided herself on never missing a birthday or important milestone. She spent decades raising children, balancing responsibilities with humor and warmth, and always found time to chat with neighbors about everything from local news to her favorite gardening secrets. When she turned 80, her health checks were still promising, with only minor fluctuations in blood pressure and mild forgetfulness about trivial things such as where she left her reading glasses. However, over the past few months, Lydia's daughter noticed slight shifts that seemed insignificant at first, subtle hints that something else might be unfolding. These shifts were not glaring red flags like prolonged confusion or severe weight loss, yet they pointed to deeper currents beneath the surface. Her daughter did not realize until later that these were, in fact, early alerts calling for prompt attention. Listening to Lydia's story, you might see similarities in a grandparent, a parent, or an older neighbor. Recognizing comparable changes and taking thoughtful steps to address them can significantly ease the burdens that seniors face as they approach the final chapters of their lives. One subtle sign that often goes unnoticed is a growing pattern of withdrawal from social activities. An older person who has always been outgoing might start declining invitations or appear uninterested in events they previously adored. This withdrawal is not necessarily due to overt depression, though in some cases that is a possibility, but can be a quiet coping mechanism when physical ailments or emotional fatigue become too heavy. Lydia, who once volunteered at the local community center, found herself skipping weekly meetings without offering clear reasons. At first, her daughter assumed she was just tired from the cold weather or was simply wanting more rest. Over time, however, these absences stacked up, and Lydia's once busy schedule grew empty. She also stopped calling her lifelong friend in the afternoon, ignoring the phone when it rang and blaming mild hearing trouble. However, as conversations revealed later, the real challenge went deeper. She felt anxious about feeling weak in front of old friends. She was worried about being seen as feeble. Many seniors feel a deep need to preserve dignity, and that fear of judgment can lead them to isolate themselves. According to the American Geriatric Society, social connections play a crucial role in maintaining both mental sharpness and emotional balance. Detecting this subtle withdrawal, and understanding its causes can keep an aging individual from spiraling into deeper loneliness or unaddressed despair. If you have observed someone dear to you retreating from routines or meaningful interactions, do not wait to act. Show compassion, offer to accompany them to events, or create new ways of sharing time together that feel more comfortable. If you believe these insights resonate so far, feel free to share a brief comment below about an experience in which a loved one began distancing themselves. Your experiences might help another viewer see the parallels. Another understated indicator is a decline in personal grooming or general hygiene. At first glance, this can appear trivial. Someone might simply look a bit unkempt or forget to wash their hair as regularly as before. Yet for an older adult who previously prided themselves on neat attire or an orderly daily routine, subtle changes in personal cleanliness can signal more serious struggles, including diminished mobility, arthritic pain, unrecognized vision problems, or even mild cognitive decline that makes consistent self-care difficult. Lydia's situation was a prime example. She took pride in her short, permed hairstyle and always had a closet of neatly pressed dresses, with jewelry that matched her bright personality. Her daughter started noticing wrinkled clothes and hair that lacked the usual bounce. Lydia also began skipping her favorite lipstick, an item she once never left home without. When the family finally delved deeper, they uncovered that Lydia's arthritic hands made it too painful to manage zippers and hold a blow dryer for as long as she needed. She chose to let small tasks slide rather than ask for help. It was not a matter of disinterest, but rather a sense of discouragement that stemmed from a sense of lost independence. According to geriatric experts, minor changes in hygiene can hint at bigger obstacles. Physical limitations combined with emotional worries about becoming a burden often lead to subtle neglect of self-care. If you have noticed the older adult in your life wearing the same outfit multiple days in a row, or avoiding showers without obvious explanation, it might be time to address the underlying causes, whether they involve difficulties in movement, memory lapses, or emotional concerns. A gentle offer to assist with laundry or even to arrange a haircut appointment can spark conversation about these underlying issues. If you find this perspective valuable, let me know by commenting below. Your feedback can guide me on how best to structure future content about caring for older loved ones. Do you notice a pattern of minor accidents or unexplained bruises on your elderly family members' arms and legs? This is another subtle sign that can point to weakening coordination, balance problems, or even early changes in vision or judgment. Small, seemingly random slips can happen to anyone, but the stakes are significantly higher for seniors, who are prone to fractures and serious complications from falling. Lydia experienced a similar situation when she began complaining about discomfort in her knees, but insisted it was just a passing annoyance. She started keeping a walking cane nearby, even though she rarely used it in public. If asked why, she would laugh it off, saying it was just there for peace of mind. Then came a weekend when her daughter stopped by unannounced and noticed an unusual bruise on Lydia's wrist. Although Lydia tried to dismiss it as a minor bump she got while rearranging a shelf, a few more bruises appeared over the next few weeks, each with vague explanations. It later emerged that she had been losing her balance when she walked up the steps to her porch. Instead of reaching out, she kept it secret, embarrassed that she was slipping in tasks she once handled with ease. According to the CDC, older adults face the highest risk of injury from falls, and a single incident can lead to severe complications if not addressed. If you spot bruises or hear about minor trips that are becoming more frequent, consider discussing home adjustments, medical evaluations for balance, or solutions like non-slip rugs and installed railings. Such steps may sound simple, but they can be critical in preventing fractures or extended hospital stays. It might feel uncomfortable to press the issue, especially if your loved one has a strong sense of pride. Yet gentle concern can prevent a minor issue from becoming a devastating setback. Increasing forgetfulness can also indicate more than standard aging, especially when it starts affecting day-to-day life. Occasional forgetfulness, misplacing a phone or forgetting a name, can happen to anyone. However, when mild lapses graduate into recurring confusion, it might point to cognitive deterioration that requires professional evaluation. Lydia had always been meticulous about paying bills on time and keeping a small notebook to track birthdays or doctor's appointments. Her daughter grew alarmed when she found overdue notices for utility bills mixed into unopened mail, something that had never happened before. Lydia's explanations were inconsistent, initially blaming the postal service or claiming she just forgot to check the mailbox. Over time, it became clear that she had not only neglected the mail, but also mistaken one bill for another and sent partial payments to incorrect addresses. Such mismanagement was uncharacteristic of her usual punctual habits. While these lapses do not always signify dementia, they can flag new complexities in an older individual's reasoning or organization skills. The Alzheimer's Association suggests that noticing these early patterns, whether in finances or scheduling, can offer a chance for timely assessments. Interventions such as medication reviews, cognitive tests, or better sleep practices can delay more substantial decline. If you observe repeated memory slip-ups in your loved one, approach the topic with sensitivity. Ask if they have felt unusually disorganized or if they have been sleeping poorly. Offer to help with reminders or consider a digital calendar they can access on a tablet. These are small but meaningful accommodations that can ease mental strain. If you are finding this discussion useful, kindly give the video a like and consider subscribing. It helps us bring more evidence-based resources to families who want to provide the best possible care for their aging relatives. A final subtle sign that warrants careful attention is a notable change in emotional resilience or mood stability. You might see your loved one experiencing swift mood swings or quietly losing their sense of hope without directly saying they feel depressed. Lydia's family noticed she was increasingly irritable over small matters, snapping at her daughter for adjusting the thermostat or for washing dishes the wrong way. These flares were unusual for a normally patient, easygoing individual. She would later apologize, then retreat to her bedroom, shutting the door for hours. On other days, she seemed numb, responding to questions with a distant nod. Emotional shifts can arise from chronic pain, reduced mobility, medication side effects, or deeper anxieties about losing autonomy. The Help2 has highlighted how mental health is a crucial aspect of healthy aging, noting that older adults frequently underreport feelings of sadness or fear because they assume it is a normal part of getting older. Rather than confront negative emotions head-on, many seniors suppress them, leading to internal turmoil that can show up as irritability or ongoing apathy. If you observe such behaviors, it is vital to investigate with empathy. Instead of criticizing them for being moody, ask them whether something is weighing on their mind. Maybe they are wrestling with fears about falling or feeling guilty about needing more help. Sometimes, a gentle nudge toward professional counseling, a support group, or conversations with fellow seniors can open a path to greater peace of mind. When you sense that you have spotted these subtle indicators, consider how you might approach them with honesty and care. Procrastinating an open discussion can make the situation worse, since unspoken needs tend to grow. Draw upon kindness, speak calmly, and let the older individual know that your aim is to understand, not to criticize. Encourage them to voice any worries or needs. You might also explore involving a geriatric care manager or a local social worker if the circumstances require a more structured solution. The National Council on Aging has resources that can guide families on financial assistance, home care options, and practical modifications to everyday life. It is also beneficial to involve medical professionals who specialize in geriatrics, because they are adept at teasing out whether these signals are rooted in medication side effects, unrecognized depression, or early disease. As our conversation continues, remember that aging does not have to be a lonely road. Support can come in many forms, whether from adult children, neighbors, community programs, or telemedicine appointments that make consultations more convenient. If you are still tuned in and find these ideas helpful, comment below with the phrase, "I'm here for my loved ones." It helps me see that you are engaged and motivates me to keep creating content that promotes healthy aging. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider it. Subscribing ensures that vital information about caring for older adults reaches you, when new material is published. Reflecting on the 5 signs we have explored, social withdrawal, neglect of personal grooming, unexplained bruising or minor accidents, advancing forgetfulness, and shifts in emotional stability, you may recall similar scenarios with your own aging parents, grandparents, or friends. If you have seen one or more of these indicators, do not panic. Instead, use this awareness as a starting point. Simple changes like rearranging furniture to remove tripping hazards, setting up auto-pay for certain bills, scheduling monthly check-ins, or connecting with community volunteers can ease burdens on seniors while preserving their sense of independence. If necessary, consult a healthcare professional who can run thorough evaluations of mental and physical status, ensuring no underlying issue is missed. Lydia's story did not end in crisis. Once her family realized what was happening, they arranged a checkup with a geriatric specialist who discovered an easily treatable vitamin deficiency, contributing to her fatigue and mild confusion. They also contacted a support group of older women who faced similar transitions, giving Lydia a chance to share her emotions instead of hiding them. Meanwhile, some small changes at home, like grab bars in the bathroom, improved lighting in the hallway, and a new voice-activated assistant to help with reminders, made daily tasks simpler. She warmed to these adaptations faster than expected once she realized they were designed to support her freedom, not label her as helpless. Her experience is a testament to how timely adjustments can rekindle the joy of daily life and head off crises. By identifying subtle signs early, Lydia's family preserved her dignity and strengthened the bonds that matter most. Over the years, I have witnessed these quiet indicators in many patients who did not recognize them as warnings at first. Some overcame tremendous odds simply because a relative or friend spotted the signals and offered to help. Others waited too long, only to discover that small problems, such as recurring knee pain or forgetting to renew prescriptions, had snowballed into far more complicated health challenges. The silver lining is that awareness, combined with gentle intervention, can avert a downward spiral. After all, aging with dignity involves acknowledging what is changing and providing suitable resources to uphold quality of life. If you have reached this point and are wondering what to do next, consider a few concrete steps. First, talk openly with your aging loved one about any emerging needs. Rather than taking over their responsibilities, propose a shared plan or gradual modifications that still allow them to maintain independence. Second, keep your communication channels open with family, friends, or neighbors who also interact with your relative. Exchange observations in a non-alarmist way to see if anyone else has noticed similar signs. Third, consult reliable sources such as the American Geriatric Society or speak with a licensed geriatrician for medical insights. Fourth, acknowledge that emotional connection is fundamental. Not every solution is purely medical. Encourage phone calls with friends, plan short outings, or arrange for a friendly visitor program if your loved one's social network has narrowed. In moments of self-doubt, remember that you are not alone. Many families grapple with these uncertainties, torn between respect for an older adult's independence and concern for their safety. Striking a balance is a delicate art. If your conversation with them meets resistance, try focusing on the positives of any new support system: safer living spaces, lighter daily burdens, and increased opportunities for connection. Overcoming reluctance often requires patience and empathy. If you notice their spirit brightens once the fear of judgment is lifted, you will know you are on the right track. Aging can be a shared endeavor, one in which a supportive community ensures no one feels left behind or overlooked. As we wind down, consider sharing any personal stories you have in the comment section. Whether they revolve around your own parent, a neighbor, or a mentor who faced similar hidden challenges, your words might guide someone else who is teetering between worry and denial. These conversations foster a network of encouragement in which families help each other recognize and address early signs of decline. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up. Your support lets me know that content like this truly resonates and helps us keep producing resources tailored for caregivers, adult children, and anyone committed to elder well-being. Always remember that this content is for general insight and does not replace professional guidance. If you suspect urgent issues, reach out to a healthcare provider for personalized advice. Geriatric specialists, occupational therapists, and mental health counselors can all be part of a team approach that addresses every facet of an older adult's changing needs, from physical mobility to emotional comfort. The National Institute on Aging suggests that comprehensive support often yields the best outcomes, so exploring a multidisciplinary strategy can make a significant impact. It is also beneficial to look into local services. Some communities offer home modification grants, meal delivery plans, or volunteer visitors who contribute significantly to improve daily life for seniors. I invite you now to take a small yet meaningful step. Reflect on the 5 subtle signs, and if you suspect you see them in a loved one, start a conversation this week. Do not wait until a fall or a crisis forces the topic out into the open. Approach the discussion gently, ensuring your loved one understands you respect their autonomy. Seek their perspective. Maybe they have ideas on what kind of support feels right. When done with kindness, these dialogues can unlock solutions that retain dignity and promote health. Together, we can create a safer, more caring environment in which our aging parents and grandparents continue to flourish. Thank you for staying with me through this journey. I hope this story of Lydia and the strategies shared here inspire you to look more closely at the quiet signals in someone else's life. By recognizing them early, you can stand ready to help in ways that preserve comfort, independence, and affection for as long as possible. If you have not subscribed yet, I encourage you to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you will be the first to know when new insights and resources become available. Wishing you and your family all the best on this path of caring for the ones who first cared for you.